We are going to be looking at some creepy videos, strange and odd news stories, and as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. So somebody had tagged me in this video clip of the Drew Barrymore show that took place in 2020, and well, take a look for yourself.
Although, are we really together? Are we all together in this room?
Are we? I feel like we're connected in some way, but maybe.
For anyone watching, can you guess which one of us isn't really here? Welcome back!
So yes, back during the heights of the C-19 and back on September of 2020, the Drew Barrymore show had a Charlie's Angels reunion. Now the way Cameron Diaz was interacting with the audience, with Drew Barrymore, with Lucy Liu, she had a lot of people fooled. They thought she was really there, but the whole time, she was a virtual projection, a hologram. So it really goes to show that we can be easily deceived through technology when it comes to any horrific events that may or may not have happened the way we saw it happen. Especially if they use AI people or crisis actors witnessing said events to try to add some authenticity to it. Like the movie Snake Eyes that came out back in 1998 is quoted as saying, "Believe everything except your eyes."
Hologram stage apparatus from big arena stage pieces into what you see right here. This is Portal. It's the size of a vending machine. It fits in the corner of a room and it beams in a 4K resolution image in real time. You can create, you can beam anybody from anywhere to anywhere in real time. And when you're looking into the camera, you're looking into your audience's eyes. So if you're an educator, or if you're a politician, or if you're an inspirational speaker or a religious leader, you could beam from the safety and security of your own campaign headquarters, or from your own judges' chambers, or wherever you are, into anywhere that you need to be in real time. So I can distribute Portal hologram machines to any country in the world.
And if they are showing us this now, what do you think they've had for quite some time? What do you think the so-called powers that be have right now? In this next creepy video, this was captured in the skies above Venezuela, and could this be an actual battle taking place, or could Venezuela, among other countries, be guinea pigs or test runs for this fake stage alien invasion that a lot of people, including myself, believe is coming?
¿Dónde estoy grabando? Sí, está. ¿Qué fue un minuto? Ay, eso viste. Dios mío.
Esto están fallando. ¿Fallando?
¡Ey! Están fallando
Espera.
porque están cayendo
Espera
aquí
para que
mismo.
vean. Bueno, temprano no lo veíamos bien por
el
por-
sol.
ajá, por el día.
Mi madre, patrón.
Mierda, huevón.
Una huevonada.
Si no era para el agua, si no para el agua.
¿Y para el aire qué, huevón? Eso está pasando por otro lado, cabrón. A la verga. Ah, bueno, estamos mejorando ahora. Mira, otro, mira. Otro, mira. Mira. Sí, ¿lo que mamá? ¿Lo quieres saber? Bueno,
Now, what I actually do find interesting is that a lot of the sounds you heard in that video sounds like the mysterious booms or the skyquakes that people hear in other videos. But like you saw in the last two videos, anything can be produced using holograms, especially if the hologram technology comes from the government. Now look, this could definitely be something real, a conflict, a war in the skies. This was documented all the way back in the 1500s. But let's also not pretend that the government hasn't done something like this before. Back in the Philippines, they pretended to be vampires. This next creepy video comes from the paranormal chick, and what in the world is going on inside this home? Some people believe that this person is being tortured by some kind of demon or spirit. Now, I just hope at the end of the day this person is okay, and maybe somebody should have even called 911.
The following footage is absolutely terrifying, and you really need to look closely into the home that they're filming because there's something or someone in that house with them. The footage comes from a couple of witnesses who were hearing screaming coming from their neighbor's house. They thought maybe he was having a mental breakdown. That was until they recorded this. Take a look at this video, comment below, tell me what you think.
But do you see it in the woman?
In this next creepy video, what exactly is this woman? Because pay attention to the dogs when she says a certain phrase.
Listen, you need to leave now. I'm telling you right now. I'm gonna let them out. It's midnight. What are you doing here? Leave now. It's midnight. We're not playing any more games. You are agitating my dogs. I told you late at night my guard dogs are out, and they're out. I'm not gonna be babysitting. You broke onto the property at 3 in the morning. They're gonna come out.
I just came to bless you and your dog.
You need to leave now. You need to leave now. I'm letting them out. Don't come any closer. I'm gonna let them out.
You don't have to let them out.
I'm gonna let them out.
Don't do that.
They're here and they're waiting.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna leave. The police has been looking for 4 days now. There's no one around. This is my place. I don't know where you're coming from. I don't know where you're coming from.
I just came to bless you.
I'm letting my dogs out.
Don't do that.
She disappeared. What the hell?
Did you catch that? As soon as she said, "I'm here to bless you and your dogs," the dogs instantly went quiet. And it seemed like as soon as he went to go ahead and let them out, the dogs started to whimper. In this next creepy video, this lady goes to this room in this hospital, which is known as Death Room, because it just has a lot of evil, a lot of people have passed away, a lot of activity. As she is blessing this room, take a look at what happens.
Heavenly Father, I ask for your divine presence to fill this space. May your light shine brightly through every room, cleansing this home of any negativity, fear, or unrest. Let peace dwell in every corner, and love be the foundation of every wall. Bless this home with your protection, surrounding it with your angels, and shielding it from harm and evil. May every door be a passage to your grace, and every window open to your blessings. In Jesus' name, be a passage to your grace, and every window open to your blessings.
So I have shown a couple of videos when it comes to this AZ Desert Rider 26. He believes there are things entering our atmosphere because what he recorded on this live meteor site happens to be different than your average meteor, and he's going to go ahead and show proof of this. But I don't believe these are ships. These could be something else altogether that's possibly always been there and making themselves known. But I'm going to go ahead and play his video now.
Alright everyone, we had another major craft come in tonight. This is pretty significant craft. I think anybody has some questions, this may answer some. Check out this signal when it enters our atmosphere. This is not your typical meteor. Believe me, I will show you a typical meteor come in without this kind of signature in the same size. So you're gonna see a couple videos come out here, so check this out. This one's the major one. That's a ship. That is definitely a ship. This is the second one that come in. That's the second ship that came in. Okay? The reason I think... Let me see. So you're aware, this is what a normal meteor signature looks like. Normal operation. That's what a normal meteor looks like coming in. This is normal operation of this whole site, okay? Don't mind the reflections from the windows, okay? This is normal operation. There's no white static. There's no horizontal lines. None of the anomalies or shapes that we see come in until you get white static and horizontal lines. Then you will start to see objects, communication, or other things possible. But so you're all aware, this is normal operation. This is what it usually looks like compared to the videos that I'm showing you the anomalies in, so that you're all aware. Okay? This is the website.
Whatever it happens to be, it's definitely a very eerie sound, but what do you think this individual is capturing that he says is different than a meteor? But interestingly enough, around the same time, these strange sounds continue to be heard at the Cleveland airport, and not even the workers know where these sounds are coming from.
Everybody just walking around like they don't do it. Like it's okay, like they used to. What's that on the loudspeaker? Huh? And nobody knows what it is?
I have no idea.
You've never heard it before?
First time ever.
Wow.
Yeah, it's gotta be something.
But interestingly enough, around the same time, these strange sounds continue to be heard at the Cleveland airport, and not even the workers know where these sounds are coming from.
What actually happened to this guy? Because his story has me convinced that aliens might be real. Because tell me how this man just vanishes into thin air and then reappears 15 months later, 700 miles away with no recollection of what's going on. This is Stephen Kubacki. He was 23 years old at the time, an avid outdoorsman, and he was taking a solo skiing trip near Lake Michigan. When he never returned home from his trip, they sent out a search party. They found his backpack and his skis, and then they saw footprints leading towards the lake, but then the footprints just disappeared as if he vanished into thin air. It was at this time investigators just believed that he simply fell into the lake and drowned. So his family was mourning his death. They hadn't seen him in 15 months. And then he just wakes up in a field 700 miles away in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. He's wearing clothes he doesn't recognize. He has a bag that he doesn't recognize filled with like maps and things. There was a huge media frenzy after this, but he kind of shut down and didn't want to talk about what had happened, which I find very odd. People claim that this may be from head trauma. Some people say that he was just going through like some psychosis or that he was trying to get away. But how do you go 15 months with nobody recognizing you, especially when you're a missing person? Stephen is not the only person this has happened to, though. Back in 1991, this guy, Vasile Gorgos, was a Romanian farmer that bought a train ticket to go do some like livestock business. He left his house and never returned. His family contacted authorities. There was a huge missing person case for him. They searched endlessly. Eventually, the case went cold, and it wasn't until 30 years later that he returned back at his house with no recollection of what happened over the last 30 years. The strangest part, though, was he was still wearing the exact same outfit and still had the exact same train ticket. His family said that that wasn't the oddest part, though. Despite him buying this train ticket 30 years ago and it being in his backpack all this time, it was in mint condition. Like, it looked brand new, but it was a train ticket dated back from 1991. These are just two of the cases that I've read of this, but there are multiple people that go missing for years and years and years with no recollection of what happened. Have you all ever heard of these cases? What do you think this is? I personally think aliens. I mean, what else could it be? Let me know in the comments, and if you're enjoying these stories, then just follow along.
Thing is a real-life shape-shifting demon in the form of a little girl. Allegedly, this mysterious girl is known as the Little Red Girl in Taiwan. And this is a true story. In 1998, a family went hiking on the Dakeng hiking trail in Taichung, Taiwan. And they recorded everything on their V8 digital camera for memories of this family outing. Unfortunately, a few weeks later, one of the family members passed on. And the family, wanting to find some solace, went back to review the footage. And this is when things started getting a bit weird. In the footage, the family member who passed on appeared to have large fangs like a demon. The family also noticed this little red girl trailing behind them. But everyone on the trip said that they did not recall a little girl in red following them or even being in their vicinity. So who was this mysterious red girl? I mean, somebody come and pick up their daughter lah. Why are you letting your daughter roam around this dangerous forest like that? This story was so big that a popular ghost program in Taiwan picked it up, and the editor for this program claims to have been haunted by this little red girl. While editing the program, he said that the girl would appear in certain footages, but when he looked back at the same footage, the girl would disappear. He was so afraid that he rushed home from the office. But later that night, during his sleep, he was awakened by a loud bang in his room. He woke up and saw the little red girl sitting on his desk, staring straight at him. Ugh. I find it very fascinating when folklore crosses into real life. I mean, we have real footage of this little red girl.
Looking into this further, this was definitely a very popular story in Taiwan, which many people in Taiwan believe to be very true. One thing is indeed for certain, that little girl's face screams anything but normal.
Hello?
Hello?
I have your DoorDash order.
Can you put it on the stool, please?
I'm not really supposed to come into houses.
It's just inside the door.
It doesn't really matter how far it is. I'm not supposed to.
Please? It would make it easier for me.
It's a kind of, can't you just come to the door? It's just kind of a safety hazard for me to come in the house.
No, I can't come to the door. Can you put it on the stool? It's easy, it's just inside.
I'll just leave it here. I'm not allowed to come inside, and I will not come inside.
Come on, you fucking bitch, it's not hard.
Yeah, no.
In this next creepy video from Emily Dell 21, I did ask myself, how does she know when to record this exact same moment when this happened? But then I remember hearing that sometimes Uber delivery drivers or DoorDash drivers, they'll record at night for safety reasons. Not all of them, but some of them do. Nevertheless, if this is real, her instincts were indeed right to leave that bag at the door.
Kid you not, we have uncovered a real mystery.
There's a room in there.
We are renovating a Sicilian palazzo from 1850, but beneath our garage apartment lies an ancient stable, and at the end of the stable, we found a sealed door. The previous owner had no idea what was behind it, so of course it's time to find out. But first, we had to deal with a swarm of flies with a gentle, demure technique. Alex tried to make a tiny opening to send in the camera, but all we saw was solid stone. So he removed a small stone on top, just enough to slide our arm in and shoot some footage with a phone. And then we discovered a man-made cave, nearly filled with stone, with a sleek, rounded ceiling. But what was that? Later back inside, I looked at the footage on my phone and saw what looked like a glimmer of light. My oldest son calmly said, "You mean the eyes?" And I screamed. That's when the brainstorming started. Could there be a tunnel leading further from the cave? Could a cat have sneaked in from a neighbor's basement? We wondered if we could try to clear it out, but the cave extends beneath the street in front of the house. So we called our architect Sebastiano, who arrived just 30 minutes later to take a look.
Oh, the eyes?
The cat? I don't know.
This is yours.
Okay.
If you want to remove it, there is no problem.
Maybe it's treasures, gold.
Gold?
And do you think we should try to open it up?
Whether that was an animal peeking back at her or a flat-out demon, it's just best to leave whatever that is alone and not go back there and open it up even further.
One day, while the mother is looking after some of the kids at the center, one of them suddenly gets frightened and ends up scaring the rest of them. But this isn't the only strange thing that her security camera managed to capture at this time. What happens next left her utterly terrified. Watch closely.
What happened? Did you do that? Were you in there? Were you in there? No. Who knocked the cover? Who knocked the cover? Maybe it was just air. Yeah, what was it done? Good. I couldn't
The boy can be seen completely spooked by something in the other room. Then seconds later, when the woman goes inside to check it out, the big playhouse suddenly falls over all on its own, even though there aren't any children touching it or near it. Nobody had been able to explain what was going on, but after uploading the video, someone noticed something that makes this video all the more creepy. A pair of hands can be seen at the top of the room holding on above the outside of the door frame, before slowly retracting back into the room, right as the boy panics and runs out of it. After noticing all this, the daycare owner's daughter makes an update video explaining the situation.
Just wanted to quickly show you exactly what it was that was scaring the little kid that my mom was watching. So pretty much the house, and obviously you guys saw that it fell, but the other thing I wanted to point out was that it's pretty hefty, so it really doesn't make any sense that it would just fall on its own like that. This is the room. The crazy thing about this is that there was like markings at the top of the entranceway of like the doorway, and I guess in the video you can see hands gripping onto the doorway. I don't really know what to make of that. I thought at first that it was like bugs or something like that, but it looked almost like two hands like gripping on the top, like leading into this room, just like. But the main thing, and the reason that the little boy was screaming, is actually in here. We have this covered up for a reason. Apparently, the little boy told my mom that he saw a face in these mirrors. We already found someone who's going to take it off our hands and pick it up off Facebook Marketplace.
After questioning the boy, they found out that he screamed because he had seen a face in the vanity mirror, even though he was the only one in the room at the time. Ever since then, they have covered the mirror up with a sheet to avoid any of the kids getting scared again. They also decide to leave the child safety gate closed until the buyer from Facebook Marketplace comes to take the mirror off their hands. However, a few nights later, the daughter of the daycare notices the child safety gate opening all on its own through the security camera, so she decides to go and check it out.
That's f***ing creepy. Do it again. Like, yeah, okay. Do it again. I'll wait. Do it again. Open the gate.
As she waits for the safety gate to open again, the sheet on the mirror suddenly pokes out by itself, catching her attention. Then, when she focuses on the sheet covering the mirror, she notices something even more terrifying. As she gets a little bit closer, what looks like indents of fingers can be seen pressing up against the cover, slowly getting clearer, which instantly scares the girl out of the room. And as we saw earlier, the only thing under the covers was the mirror itself up against the wall, which doesn't have any moving mechanisms, so nothing should move. But something clearly does. Now, after witnessing this horror for herself, she has now locked the door completely and shut the safety gate until the buyer comes to collect the mirror.
My thing is, I really hope she informed the next buyer of this mirror of all the experiences she has had ever since she had this mirror. It's very possible that something or some things had attached itself to it, and that's what's causing the problem. But again, I really hope she informed the next person.
Hey y'all, so I have got a story to tell you guys. I have been sitting on for a little bit now, and it's pretty wild. So as some of you may know, my husband has a demolition business and has been in business now for about 20 years. And in that line of work, it's pretty interesting. We come across some really neat things sometimes gross, sometimes wild. But, you know, we often get some old antique pieces that we are able to salvage. Maybe there's some scrap treasure we get. Maybe it's just something that is, you know, neat and out of the ordinary. And we've even gone into a place and did a demolition that was very haunted. And we experienced that. So we have had, our fair share of some, really neat experiences in this line of work. This is a first. We have never had something like this. So about a month and a half ago, Robert was telling me about this job that he has under contract with a church, and it's this big house, right? And he sends me this beautiful picture as he just took it because he's getting ready for this meeting with the church about the upcoming demo. Not abnormal at all. They normally have these meetings, talk about the scope of work, what they expect, et cetera, et cetera. Nothing out of the ordinary. So he sends me this picture, as you see here, and it's a beautiful picture. Hard to believe they're even tearing it down, at least at that moment. And I immediately get excited, start to make mental inventory of the things that I want to take out of the home, primarily the windows, because I am wanting to build a greenhouse with repurposed windows. And of course, a house from 1851, those are amazing windows, right? So later on that day, Robert gets in touch with me to tell me how just shocking this meeting was, how he had never experienced anything like this. Well, apparently, while he was at that meeting with the church, the whole purpose of the meeting was to discuss their concern around the demolition and the potential of it releasing evil entities or spirits once the walls have come down. Apparently, this building has been exorcised twice. I don't know the dates of when. That information's kind of kept under lock and key, but twice. And from the sounds of it, it doesn't sound like it was very successful. I'm like, we're blown away, right? So when he gets home, of course, this conversation is going much further, and I'm asking a lot more questions. And so he ends up telling me, we're discussing the meeting, I zoom in to the picture of the house that he took. Oh my gosh, look at the window, right? I mean, it's undeniable. What's crazy about this picture is the fact that he took two back to back, standing same spot, took two back to back. One picture has it, one picture doesn't. Wild. So I, of course, now am really intrigued by this place. Of course, I have second guessed whether or not I want any windows, because I'm not sure I want to take anything from this place home, especially if there's genuinely this level of concern from the church, so much so that we're going to have a meeting over it. But Robert ends up disclosing to me that during this meeting, not only were they discussing, their concerns about the church being, the building being releasing anything, but they also mentioned the fact that they want the demo done on October 20th, not by October 20th, on October 20th. And he mentioned something about a moon, which I thought was strange because churches don't typically tie in moon cycles and things like that. So I was really intrigued by that, and I started to dig in a little bit. Come to find out, October 20th is a waning crescent moon. And if you know anything or look at some of the historical spiritual traditions, the waning crescent moon is often tied to like a spiritual cleansing, new beginnings, cleaning out. So you can't tell me that that was completely unintentional. So I decided to look a little bit more into this building and to see if I could find any sort of history that might support what's going on with this place. And come to find out, it was built in 1851, and the owner who built it, unfortunately, his son, at 2 years old in 1854, died by falling off of this balcony. So stricken by grief, the rumor has it, this hasn't been confirmed, but it was stricken by grief, the rumor has it that the father shortly thereafter ended up hanging himself from the staircase in the home. The young boy's grave is still on the premises, and it is reported that the father's is somewhere there too. So there is a history that actually supports kind of the strange supernatural things that are going on in here. But this is wild. We have never had a job under contract where they are warning us about the spiritual nature and even the evil nature of it ahead of time. So I did tell Robert that, as beautiful as the home is, and as much as I would love to have some of those things, I will absolutely decline taking anything from that place. But I can't help but to be curious. Would you go in?
That video comes from Tanya Chaplin, and like the last video, like I said, things can attach themselves to things, so it's best to leave things alone where they are. But in any case, thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.